Good morning, Boker Tov, everyone. This week's Torah portion has the famous story of Jacob's dream, where Jacob dreams of a ladder which begins on earth and spans all the way up to the heavens. And in this dream, Jacob sees angels ascending and descending on the ladder. And this is the point in Jacob's life where he's setting out to the house of his uncle Laban, where he's going to get married and establish the Jewish nation through his family, the 12 tribes of Israel. And so clearly this dream, this vision that God gave him is a pivotal message, not just for Jacob, but for all of his descendants. And the metaphor is obvious. What God is saying is that although we find ourselves here on earth, like the foot of the ladder, each and every one of us has the ability to climb to the greatest spiritual heights and reach the heavens. And the ladder is the metaphor of how we achieve it. The first lesson of a ladder is when you climb a ladder, you don't look to the top of the ladder. You look at the next rung that you want to achieve, and then you raise yourself up to the next rung. And so too in spiritual growth. We should not look to the top of the ladder, because if we look to the tippy top of where we need to arrive, we will be discouraged and perhaps give up. But if we just focus on the next rung of the ladder and pull ourselves up one rung at a time, eventually we will reach the top of the ladder. The second metaphor and lesson in the story of the ladder is that when you're on a ladder, you grab the rung that is within reach. If there's a rung that's beyond your reach, you don't go for that rung. You just take what you can achieve, which is the very next rung, or sometimes two rungs. Sometimes in life we have our eyes on a rung that is beyond our grasp at this particular moment. And we say, well, if I can't have that, I might as well not try for anything. It's either perfection or nothing. But as they say, the enemy of good is great. Always do what you can, even if it's not everything you wish to do. Even if you cannot help a person with the amount of money that you would like to help them with. But whatever little bit you can do, even if you don't have time to study Torah at length, but if you could study for 5 minutes, that's within reach. Grasp whatever you can grasp within your reach. They tell a story of a king who had a beautiful daughter, and he said, I'm going to give this daughter to the strongest, mightiest, courageous warrior in my country. And so what the king did was he set a ladder with 1,000 rungs. And then he said, all the men who want to try to gain my daughter's hand in marriage have to wear a metal armor suit that weighs 500 pounds. And they have to climb the 1,000 rungs to the top of the ladder. Whoever reaches the top of the ladder can marry my daughter. And so one eligible bachelor after another tried. One made it 30 rungs, 50 rungs, 100 rungs, 200 rungs, but all of them had to come down. They couldn't make it to the top. But there was one person who started to climb higher, 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 200 rungs, 300 rungs, and 400 rungs. But then when they noticed the higher he got, the quicker he started to climb. Rather than get weary and exhausted, he started to go faster and with more strength. And he reached the top of the ladder, and of course he came down and he was told, yes, you're going to marry the king's daughter, the princess. But they asked him, tell me, why is it that once you passed a certain point, 300, 400 rungs, you started to gain more speed in your step? And the king said, I'll tell you why. On the top of the ladder, I put this huge magnetic field, this strong, powerful magnet on the top of the ladder. And as he started to get into the range of the magnet, the armor started to feel the pull, the magnetic pull of the magnet on the top. And therefore it got easier and easier. Sometimes we look at the ladders that we have to climb in life and we say it's too hard, I can never get to the top. But what we don't realize is that the more we persevere, the more we push forward and prevail, not only does it not get harder, on the contrary, we start to feel the spiritual pull. And suddenly, we feel a force from above pulling us higher and higher. Each and every one of us, each and every day, must climb that ladder. Have a wonderful day.